and today's piece is a patent of a concept model hospital bed. Along with the model are patent papers dating the piece to 1909. This model is a very wonderful mechanical apparatus. On inspection, the piece demonstrates lots of features.
Apparatus that demonstrates a lot of features of an amazingly complex hospital bed,
which include features of modern hospital beds where one can crank up the back. There is no indication markers on this piece, which tells us it was never a salesman sample.
Salesman sample is always going to have some identification marks on it, the maker.
This piece is an intricate model and a wonderful piece of mechanical equipment and would be worth,
I would say at auction, this could easily bring $3,000 to $5,000.
Wow, and I thought it was a toy.
It's sometimes surprising that people think textiles and rugs can't be antiques. But a look at this carpet brought by the guest would surely change minds. This piece is an antique Persian Fabergé carpet that was woven circa 1910 from the northern parts of Persia. The rug has many design patterns which are set on a light background.
The pattern of this example shows the gul henna plant. It's referred to as the gul henna pattern, and gul in Farsi translates to flower.
Unlike most of the Fabergé carpets that come into the market. A large attribute that significantly raises the value of this rug is that it comes in a square size, which is unusual for most rugs.
The rug's about 9 by 10, and most carpets come in standardized sizes of 8 by 10, 9 by 12.
Early Persian textile craftsmanship is often held in high regard, and this piece is no less, and at auction would be valued at.
This rug would sell for $1,500 in the auction market.
That's very good.
So thank you so much for bringing it in today.
Thank you so much.
This painting has been in the guest family for over 90 years. Norman Rockwell gave it to his great-aunt and the guest's great-grandmother.
Well, it's a 1919 Collier's cover from March of 1919, and that's about all I know. We just love it.
Rockwell always knew he wanted to be an artist and showed talent early. By age 14, he was in art classes. He was born in 1894 and quit high school in 1910 to attend art school full-time. At 18, he became the art director of Boys Life. Rockwell is mostly known for his Saturday Evening Post covers. He did 4 covers for Collier magazine in 1919. This painting has the title of The Little Model. It's an oil-on canvas featuring a young woman imitating a fancy lady in a poster. Her dog is by her side, adding charm to the scene. Rockwell was a master at storytelling and evoking nostalgia. By the late 90s, his work started fetching 6-figure prices. Painting would have a replacement value of about.
So I would think in today's market, you would want to have a replacement value on this of about $500,000. So are you surprised to hear that?
Yeah, very surprised.
Thank you so much for bringing it in.
Something magical about how a simple lawn ornament can transform an ordinary environment into something out of a fairy tale. This dog lawn ornament was gifted to the guest's parents 20 years ago. Interestingly, this delicate piece was made by Weller Pottery in Ohio. We can tell by the maker's signature visible on its foot. Crafted from clay, it dates back to circa 1920 to 1930.
That clay is typical of the clay deposits that were left here, I'm told, by the glaciers as they receded.
And is fashioned in the form of the terrier dog breed. It's fascinating and very commendable that this piece is so well preserved. The market demand for such a classic and rare ornament is very high, and it is estimated to be worth.
Conservative estimate at auction would be $3,000 to $4,000. Wow. This could be one of those special dogs because it's so rare.
Presented before us is not merely a saddle, but a portal to a bygone epic of grit and glory. These items were acquired by this guest at a store in New York while on vacation. We can observe the maker's mark clearly visible on the saddle. It was crafted by D.E. Walker in California.
And he died in 1899. And so when that happened, that ended it.
This saddle predates 1899, and the tapaderos are attached. It is crafted from leather and silver. The buckle appears to have been replaced, and some wear has been incurred on this piece over time.
And the tooling shows a lot of wear. Not bad wear, just regular wear.
Despite the slight wear suffered by the items, they remain highly desirable, and at auction, they would command significant value of
25 to 30,000.
Wow.
Rings are not always what they seem. Sometimes they hide stories and secrets that make them even more precious. A guest brought in a family heirloom ring, passed down since their great-great-grandfather won it in a gambling payoff. Upon examination, the appraiser identified it as an Art Deco piece from around 1925, most likely crafted in New York, a major diamond hub during that era. The ring, made of platinum, boasts a striking central yellow diamond, often referred to as a champagne diamond by the guest. This 2-carat stone is flanked by side stones of emeralds and small diamonds, adding to its allure. Though the diamond has some internal flaws, its vibrant yellow color remains impressive. One of the ring's most interesting features is its strong fluorescence. Found in about 30% of diamonds, this makes the diamond glow under ultraviolet light. While acknowledging the condition of the ring, the appraiser said,
I would say anywhere between $5,000 and $7,000.
Okay.
Glance at this painting gives an aura of expertise because only someone at the top of their profession can create a work as beautiful as this. Luckily, the painter, Otto Georgi, is one of the best in the art of natural scenes. What's special about this painting is its religious theme, which is depicting Moses coming down from Mount Sinai with the tablets.
The Israelites are before him, and the golden calf is here. It's a wonderful 19th century painting.
This kind of painting was particularly in demand during the 19th century, and it features an extraordinary panoramic view that immediately attracts interest.
In the late 19th century, both in America and Europe, there was a real revival and interest in the Holy Land.
Given its religious background, this religious masterpiece would auction today at,
I would estimate it at between $20,000 and $30,000.
Wow. Oh my goodness.
Yeah.
This guest brought a cowgirl outfit and boots to the show. The pieces were given to the guest by her aunt as a birthday gift, and she had worn them when she was little. The boots, which are Tom Mix boots, are in absolutely good condition. Along with the boots is the cowgirl outfit, which includes a vest that has a tag of Westerner and a corduroy skirt that has been trimmed in fringe.
Western stuff was for a while quite collectible in the 70s and 80s and 90s, and it took a dip for a while.
As children's Westerner pieces are still in high demand by collectors, this piece would be worth
from $200 to $300 for the complete ensemble with the box and with the picture.
Well,
look at this doll, and you would have no argument that it's a female doll. But originally, this doll and its others makes were advertised as a Philipp doll, which was male. The dolls were made by a German company called Kammer and Reinhardt, but its head was made by another German company called Simon and Halbig.
And we can see that mark on the back of her head. Kammer and Reinhardt is indicated with a K, a Star of David, and R.
Originally, this doll was made circa 1912, but was later revamped to its present female look in the 1950s.
So somewhere in the 1950s, somebody decided this little boy, Philip,
no kidding,
needed to be a little girl.
The head of the doll is made of bisque with glass sleep eyes, along with a wig that's been changed, and attires that have been changed too. This doll is a representation of early German doll making, and at retail value would be worth.
Retail value for this doll would be $2,000 to $2,500.
Wow.
This is a bronze dancing figure called the Star, a family heirloom passed down to the guest by his grandfather. The artist, Harriet Whitney Frischmuth, was a renowned American sculptor known for her focus on sculpting live nude figures. Crafted in 1918, this figure beautifully captures the extension and stretch of a dancer, showcasing a wonderful patina. In excellent condition, this unique piece, made out of bronze, would sell for
You at $20,000.
$20,000?
That's right.
Holy Toledo.
Here is a modest jade duck, purchased by this guest at an estate sale. The piece was revealed to be a rare relic from the 17th century Ming dynasty. This jade duck is carved in an archaic style, showcasing traditional C&S scrolls along the tail, eyes, and neck.
If there are ducks in pairs, it's a representation of marriage, fidelity, and the long duration of a happy marriage.
The wings are meticulously detailed with incised feathers, which demonstrates a high level of craftsmanship.
Also, the polish is a very matte polish, very soft polish overall.
Also, the jade's pale celadon color, highlighted with russet and gray imperfections, aligns with the period's appreciation for the natural beauty of jade and is worth
10 to 15,000.
Oh my God! So I have to buy the lunch for my boyfriend.
Persian rug looks like a real-life Aladdin rug. After all, it was made in Persia, which is modern-day Iran, and crafted around 1880.
And that's when they built their home, so it could have been around 1910.
At that time, rugs like these were considered Oriental rugs, and they were in high demand during the 19th and 20th centuries. For a rug that was made in 1880, the colors have maintained their originality. What's special about this rug is that instead of following the usual carpet design for rugs, it was made based on textile designs which immediately make it stand out. Given it's a symbol of Persian creativity, this rug should fetch an auction value of,
I think at a good auction estimate would be $6,000 to $8,000.
Oh my God!
Looking at this letter, it resembles any other letter to anyone. But in realistic terms, it was written by the former President of the Confederate States of America, Jefferson Davis, to his 4 governors. These governors included the governor of Texas, Louisiana, Missouri, and Arkansas.
4 different people. F.R. Lubbock is at the top, and he was
the governor at the time.
Governor of Texas.
This letter was one of reassurance to his governors, aiming to keep them inspired.
So it's what we call a circular letter, the same letter to several different recipients.
In the letter, he also thanked them for their roles as principal officials in the Confederacy. The 4 provinces headed by these governors constituted the Trans-Mississippi Division in the Confederacy. Given its importance in American history, this letter would auction today at,
I would probably value this at $15,000 to $20,000.
20th century was the golden age of cigarette smoking, bringing with it its own customs and traditions. Cigarette cases and holders were often lavishly decorated with gold and diamonds to signify class. This particular cigarette holder, for example, is a feminine piece given to this guest by a woman he was acquainted with. It comes with a canary yellow enameled case of Austrian origin, dating back to the 1900s. Beautifully enameled, the case must have been a symbol of elegance in its time. However, due to the harmful effects of smoking, cigarettes and their associated customs have been reduced to a minimum, leaving this once cherished artifact valued at
£100?
That's fine. I wouldn't sell it anyway.
This jade diamond ring is a cherished piece of family jewelry that has a rich and interesting history. The jade stone was purchased by the guest at the World's Fair on Treasure Island in San Francisco Bay, held from 1939 till 1940. It was then set into a platinum ring with a diamond and platinum setting by Grant Brothers, the iconic San Francisco jewelers. The ring has been kept in excellent condition and is presented in its original box.
I like that you also have the original box. While it doesn't add a lot of value, it's a fun thing to have. I also love, and you have right here, picture of you as a child at the World's Fair in San Francisco.
Since the jade stone has not been treated or altered in any way, this rare piece of jewelry will have its value estimated at
About $4,000 to $6,000.
Oh my.
This bust of Cecil de Brunov marble sculpture is what appraisers would call a work of art. It was done by one of the most famous female sculptresses ever known in person of Chana Orloff. Made from marble, this sculpture is a work of art that it required a great amount of expertise and manpower.
Her name is actually pronounced Chana Orloff.
Chana Orloff.
Yeah, and she was born in what's now Ukraine, and in 1905 her family fled to Palestine.
It was made in 1925 in honor of a French classical pianist named Cecil de Brunov. Chana was known to create portraits of successful people.
Portrait of Matisse, there's a portrait of Picasso, and just many, many other people.
And this piece is no different, aside from the fact that it was made with sheer precision. As it was made by a sculptress in person of Chana, this marble sculpture would auction at,
in a gallery, I would put it in the $30,000 to $50,000 range.
Oh, that's wonderful. That's wonderful.
Guest brought in an object identified as a war club from the Rennell Islands in the Solomon Micronesian complex. These clubs were used for throwing and were often decorated with intricate senet binding, like this example. This particular club dated back to the 1870s or 1880s and was likely used for ceremonial purposes. The club's origins and history made it a unique and valuable piece. The appraiser's expertise helped uncover the club's importance, and it was valued at
putting a value of about $3,000 on it.
Wow, that's amazing. Thank you.
A rare archive, which reveals an intimate look into the teenage years of Jackie Robinson, who became the first African American to play in Major League Baseball in the modern era.
Absolutely. We've got letters from the late 1930s. Jackie Robinson broke the color barrier in 1947.
This archive showcases personal letters and friendships before his rise to sports legend. These letters, written by a teenage Robinson to a high school friend, provide a glimpse into his experiences at UCLA, his struggles with the curriculum, and close personal relationships.
These are personal to Jackie Robinson.
Right,
Nothing to do with baseball, nothing to do with sports.
Notably, this archive includes Robinson's invitations and a rare 1938 signature, making it a historically significant collection that's worth.
At auction, we can see this fetching anywhere between $15,000 to $20,000. Whoa!
Guest got this table from her father, who inherited it from his mother. The appraiser identified the piece as an aesthetic movement table from the 1880s, characterized by its naturalistic and Asian-inspired design. It also included a basket weaving pattern on the top, reminiscent of Japanese baskets. The table was a factory-made piece in spectacular condition. Much to the guest's delight, the appraiser estimated the table's auction value to be,
come to auction today, I could easily see an auction estimate of $1,500 to $2,500 on it.
Wow, a lot more than I thought it would be.
This pin belonged to the guest's grandmother from Chicago.
I don't know what it's worth.
And never had it appraised, if you know.
Never had it appraised.
You see, I'm just standing here and it's moving.
In the wind.
Is that fantastic?
It is lovely.
Imagine if you were dancing in this house, you know, in 1940.
Appraiser thought it was probably meant to be a necklace, not a pin. It is like a waterfall with diamonds dripping off. There are over 2 ounces of platinum, 4 carats in baguettes, and 9 carats in marquise diamonds. At auction, it's worth.
So I would say at auction, $15,000 to $20,000.
Great.
Not bad, right?
Not bad.
Yeah.
Updated value of it is $18,000 to $24,000. The item in question is the prestigious Olympic gold medal awarded during the inaugural inclusion of basketball as an Olympic event in 1936, held in Berlin, Germany. It belonged to Joe C. Fortenberry, a renowned figure in basketball history, the guest's father. The significance of this medal is deeply intertwined with its remarkable backstory. The 1936 Olympics marked not only the debut of basketball on the Olympic stage, but also witnessed the U.S. team's triumph over Canada in a historic final match played amidst a relentless downpour. Despite Hitler's mandate for an outdoor setting in adverse weather, the U.S. clinched gold with a 19-8 victory, Fortenberry scoring 8 pivotal points. Its pristine condition and unparalleled historical significance demand an estimated value of.
I would put a value of this at auction of $100,000 to $150,000.
Wow. I was right, more or less.
Discussion are a collection of Navajo jewelry pieces, including bracelets, a squash blossom necklace, and handmade silver beads, originating from the 1910s to the 1930s. The Navajo jewelry belonged to the guest's husband's grandmother, who had ties to the Santa Fe Railroad. They collected them during annual trips between New York and Santa Fe. What sets these pieces apart is their historical significance and craftsmanship. Grafted from melted-down ingots of Mexican coinage, the bracelets showcased.
So the small holes that you see in the stones show that. The necklace over there is a squash blossom.
Traditional Navajo format, and feature stones repurposed from necklaces. The exceptional quality squash blossom necklace and handmade silver bead bracelets are worth.
So these beautiful bracelets are worth on today's marketplace about $3,000 each.
My.
finely carved cane, depicting a hunter's scene, emerges as a testament to folk art craftsmanship. Its handle features a reclining hound, serving as a functional and elegant grip. Carved from a hickory sapling and painted with meticulous detail, the cane portrays a shotgun and a winding snake, evoking biblical symbolism. The cane's precise origins hint at its likely creation in the Midwest, possibly in Kentucky, although definitive provenance remains elusive. Dating to the late 19th to early 20th century, its unique design suggests it is a singular creation.
So in folk art, we say it's one and done.
Despite its delicate appearance, the cane's value stands at a retail estimate of,
I would put a retail value on it approximately $3,500, possibly a little more. That's more than what I figured.
Painting titled Eyemouth Fishing Disaster echoes the tragedy it depicts. Painted in 1882 by J. Michael Brown, it captures a haunting scene from November 1881, when Eyemouth, a serene Scottish coastal town, was engulfed by an unexpected storm. The painting portrays the aftermath of the calamity with poignant detail.
And I wonder too whether this light, this breaking light, and presumably it's dawn.
I think it must be dawn.
Yes, because that's when they might have found a washed-up body on the shore.
In the foreground lies a lifeless fisherman, brought ashore amidst wreckage and despair. Yet, it's the woman's face, illuminated by a shaft of light, that reveals a mix of grief and resignation. The disaster claimed the lives of 186 fishermen, most tragically, just within reach of the harbor. Given its historical significance and artistic merit, the appraiser values the painting at,
I think I'm going to value it at what you paid for it, which I suppose with commission is £7,000.
Yes. I thought you'd say that.
This American violin was created by arguably one of the best instrument makers America has ever seen, George Jumunder. He and his son, George Jr., are responsible for this masterpiece American violin.
This is an American violin made in the shop of George Jumunder in New York, who worked with his son, George Jr.
Although it might look like the usual everyday violin, what's unique about this violin is that it is an original masterpiece. This can be attributed to the fact that as one of the best,
and this violin is dated 1901, it's possible that it was a collaboration between father and son.
George put his reputation into making the very best instruments. At the time it was created, which is 1901, violins like this were in high demand. Given it was created by one of the best instrument makers in the world, it would auction at
is between $10,000 and $15,000 at auction.
Nice. Good buy for $1.
So you did well.
Piece of jewelry, a remarkable bracelet, takes center stage. This exquisite piece, crafted by the esteemed French atelier Von Cleef Arpels, exudes elegance and sophistication.
It's made by a famous company, Van Cleef & Arpels. You may have heard of them.
I have.
Bracelet is a cherished heirloom from the guest's grandmother. Originating from the golden era of the 1950s or early 1960s, the bracelet boasts a composition of lustrous 18-karat gold, adorned with an enchanting array of intricately cast beads. Dazzling diamonds enhance the bracelet's allure, intricately set throughout. Its design cleverly conceals the clasp, creating an illusion of uninterrupted beauty when worn. The estimated auction value for this rare piece is unveiled to be,
and I believe an auction value for something like that it'll be about $10,000 to $15,000.
Oh my God! Oh my gosh!
Received this sculpture from her aunt about 15 years ago and has kept it in her closet ever since. The appraiser identified the sculpture as the work of Bessie Potter Vonnoh, a prominent sculptor from the late 19th and early 20th centuries. Vonnoh studied at the Chicago Art Institute and met Rodin in Paris. She was known for her delicate depictions of intimate subjects such as mothers and children, women, and dancers, contrasting with the monumental and historical themes typical of sculpture at the time. This piece exhibited impressionistic qualities, with softened features and intricate details. The sculpture was signed and dated 1902, an early period in Vonnoh's career, and bore the mark of the Roman Bronze Foundry in New York, a leading foundry of the era. Much to the guests' surprise and delight, the appraiser estimated the sculpture's retail value at around,
in terms of the value, retail value about $5,000.
Really?
Yeah.
Wow. All right.
Attention turns to a remarkable piece of luggage, believed to have belonged to the guest's grandfather. This crocodile skin bag, discovered in the attic by the guest in 1989, has since been displayed under a sideboard. Dating back to the late 19th to early 20th century, the handmade valise showcases exquisite craftsmanship, indicative of luxury goods crafted by Austrian artisans during that era. Despite its age, the bag boasts an extraordinary shape and patina, underscoring its rarity and historical significance despite slight signs of wear.
Because of its age and slight wear, but extraordinary shape and patina.
Its heavy construction reflects the high-quality materials, indicative of its former status as a costly possession. Highlighting its desirability among collectors, the auction value of this remarkable piece was,
I would say that at auction this would sell for between $3,000 and $3,500 at least.
Two extraordinary drawings by J.M.W. Turner take center stage. Initially mistaken for the work of Reski, the drawing reveals itself as a Turner depiction of Scarsborough Castle. The dramatic depiction of the castle atop a cliff showcases Turner's mastery of topography
that weren't of any particular consequence. We found this, and I likewise,
and his ability to capture the whole drama with a minimal number of strokes. The second drawing, belonging to the guest's grandfather, was found amongst old pictures after his passing. Dating back to around 1809, the drawing depicts Whitehaven Port and exhibits Turner's swift shorthand style. Turner's drawings impress with their depth, drama, and economy of line, leaving a lasting impact on viewers. The first beautiful drawing is estimated to be worth around,
and of course this is for insurance, and I would have thought something in the region of £10,000 is about right. Something like that.
Lovely.
Yeah? Very good.
Due to slightly lesser quality compared to the first drawing, the drawing is valued at,
but it is also very interesting, and so I'm going to be a little more conservative with yours and put £6,000 on it for insurance.
Yeah, go on.
Yeah.
Small box, discovered in the depths of a handbag, unfolds a tale of intrigue and discovery. Crafted from Hollywood wood, favored by a renowned Russian jeweler, the box's origins pique curiosity. Initially discovered among the guest's mother's belongings, its Russian provenance is confirmed by the inscription K. Fab, St. Petersburg, Moscow, Odessa, inside adding to its allure. Adorned with a heart-shaped jewel surrounded by diamonds and yellow enamel, the brooch excludes artistic intricacy.
And as you can see very plainly, it's in the form of a tiny little heart surrounded by diamonds.
Yes.
The brooch is a cherished memento of Russia's past, holding profound sentimental and historical value. Despite its modest value, the brooch's significance lies in its connection to the affluent Edwardian era.
It was a shop for an Edwardian elite, really, with enormous spending power. I mean, luminous amounts of money.
Despite its uncertain past, the brooch's estimated value is,
today, I think it might be worth £8,000.
Turns to a cherished family heirloom, a banjo clock passed down through generations. Initially believed to be a grandmother's clock, it is later identified as a Willard's patent timepiece, dating back to 1815 to 1820. The clock bears the signature of Aaron Willard, Jr., a renowned clockmaker based in Boston.
If you see enough of them, then you sort of can get a feel for the signature, and it says Aaron Willard, Jr. on the dial,
it does?
right across here.
The clock's original tablets are rare due to the weight cord deterioration. Despite the replacement of the weight cord with braided nylon, the clock's integrity remains intact. Notable features include a distinctive acorn finial and intricately crafted hands. Reflecting its rarity and historical significance, the clock commands an impressive price range of,
but a fantastic piece. In a retail setting, this clock would sell from $8,000 to $10,000.
Really?
So it's a beautiful piece to have.
Secretariat's cool-down blanket is a remarkable piece of horse racing history. This piece was given to its owner, Penny Tweedy, after Secretariat won the Triple Crown in 1973. This blanket features her racing colors and Secretariat's name. It was used to cool down the champion horse after races. Secretariat had an incredible but brief career.
Secretariat only had a 16-month career, ran in 21 races, and was first, second, or third in 20 of those races.
He won the Kentucky Derby, Preakness, and Belmont Stakes, setting records that still stand today.
Wonderful piece of horse race history, and you're talking about a horse that was ranked number 2 in the 100 greatest horses of the past century.
However, this blanket, still in excellent condition, reflects the high value of Secretariat memorabilia with an auction value of...
If I was doing an auction estimate on a blanket and I was sure that Secretariat had it on him at one point or another, I would have estimated probably 15 to 25,000, maybe even 20 to 30,000, because Secretariat memorabilia, when it sells for an enormous amount of money. Horseshoes themselves go for thousands of dollars.
Oh my goodness.
The king of pop, you automatically think music. But only a few people know that these weird but interesting drawings were made by...
And I would watch him draw these drawings, and then he'd ball it up and throw it away.
Michael Jackson. Although he is known to be a famous art collector, these drawings show that he was more than one and is multi-talented. These paintings were drawn in 1972 to represent one of the most famous comedians in the world, Charlie Chaplin, and one of Michael's tutors at the time. Michael Jackson was a big fan of Mr. Chaplin.
Really tried to compare himself with Chaplin. In 1995, he recorded a Chaplin song called Smile for his History album, and was trying to do a video where he played Charlie Chaplin. That didn't quite work out very well for licensing reasons.
So this explains why he drew this in his honor. Given as it was painted by the king of pop, these paintings at a modern art market would auction at.
But we feel that these would perform very strongly at auction and would give an estimate of between $8,000 and $10,000 each.
Oh, that's great. That's awesome.
This is a collection of railroad posters and prints bought at an auction 20 years ago. The small one on the top was made by an artist named Griffin, while the one at the bottom is a colorful image used for advertising or promotions. Both prints are not signed and are in the range of $25 each. The large poster on the left is from the World's Trade Fair held in New York in 1939, and Railroads on Parade was a major part of the event. Moreover, the last poster explained the Railroads on Parade event in detail, and on the bottom is a picture of an old railroad in the 1830s, and on the right is a more recent train. This poster would sell between $800 and $1,200. However, the large poster has colorful graphics and was signed by an artist named Leslie Reagan, who was working with the New York Central Railroad in the 1930s. An auction estimate for this poster would be around...
Auction estimate would be $3,000 to $4,000.
Wow.
That would be just for this piece.
Wow. Flamingos encased in glass plaque purchased from a neighbor at $2 are brought in for appraisal. This item was probably made in the 1920s through sandblasting and was later painted with oil paint. It started out as a utilitarian functional decorative piece, but has grown to become a piece of decorative art. Without a doubt, this is a very collectible piece, and at an auction would be worth around...
We believe that if it came to auction, it would probably sell somewhere between $2,000 and $4,000.
Very good.
A beautiful pendant watch with its necklace is brought in for appraisal. Also presented is the receipt of purchase from 1960 when the piece was bought for $1,250. The pendant is made of natural pearls and has an enamel. This is achieved by engraving on the metal, followed by a translucent enamel placed on top. The engraving comes through when the color is revealed. When the pendant is flipped over, there is the watch, which happens to be signed by Tiffany & Company. The watch was made for Tiffany by the Patek Philippe Company. Although some years back, this piece would have been sold for $4,000 to $6,000 because it was manufactured in the early 1900s. But at an auction today, it would be worth around...
Today, at auction, this is easy, $8,000 to $10,000.
Really?
And that's an auction price.
That's very nice.
Presented with a captivating poster and photograph that capture the spirit of the World War I era.
What you have here are two pieces of pretty scarce ephemera related to World War I.
These two items were discovered by the guest in his father's attic after his passing. The photograph, dated 1917, depicts the Minnesota Home Guard, 16th Battalion. It was taken with a circuit camera, which uses a lens on a track to capture yard-long photographs. Additionally, we have a poster from 1919 advertising a concert by the 16th Home Guard Music Band. Items like these are extremely rare and often do not survive this long. This pair of rare artifacts offers us a glimpse into the past and would command an auction value of...
The pair would bring about $2,000.
Wow.
So not bad for an attic find,
Not
right?
at all, not bad at all.
This micro-mosaic and pietra dura table is a stunning artifact with a rich history.
I was the only one in my generation, so I inherited everything that my aunt owned.
The tabletop was likely brought back from a grand tour of Italy, and it features a captivating scene of St. Peter's Square in the Vatican, intricately crafted using micro-mosaic techniques. Each tiny piece of the mosaic is a small piece of glass meticulously assembled to create a detailed and vibrant image. Surrounding the central scene is a border of pietra dura, meaning hard stone in Italian. This intricate inlay work incorporates various types of marble, including rose-colored scagliola, a painted material made from ground marble.
This kind of decoration was being made in the Vatican workshops, which are still going today.
This detailed carving and form of the stand enhance the overall elegance of the piece, and it's valued at...
I would say a table like this at auction would probably have an estimate of $10,000 to $15,000.
Wow. Oh, well, thank you.
Soil painting is a captivating piece with a poignant history.
She painted this while she was a patient in Johns Hopkins Hospital in the 1930s.
Which reflects the tumultuous life and artistic journey of its creator, Zelda Fitzgerald, known as the Beautiful Southern Belle and a significant figure of the Jazz Age. Her life, marked by glamour and eventual tragedy, saw her influenced by modernist painters during her time in Europe. Despite her struggles with mental illness, which led her to various institutions, Zelda became an accomplished painter, using art as a means of expression and therapy.
She died tragically in a fire in 1948 in a mental institution.
This particular painting, depicting nasturtiums, is an oil on canvas. It is in reasonably good condition and showcases Zelda's distinctive style and talent. This painting's rarity and the compelling evidence supporting its authenticity make it a valuable piece that's worth...
In today's market, a conservative auction estimate on this painting would be between $10,000 and $15,000.
Well, that's very nice, thank you.
Well, thank you.
Sets of vintage Pennsylvania Crocs whisper a tale of their rich heritage. Originating from the 1880s, these Crocs are notable for their exceptional size, each holding 20 gallons, which is rare compared to the more common 2 or 3 gallon varieties. The creation of such large stoneware Crocs was a demanding process. It required a significant amount of clay and involved 2 men, one to operate the kick wheel and the other to shape the vessel. These Crocs were fired in kilns for approximately 17 hours, followed by a 3-day cooling period. Once completed, they were transported on large ferry boats or sold locally. One of these Crocs is marked R.T. Williams, indicating it was crafted by the well-known potter Richard Williams. This particular piece features both stencil and freehand decorations that are worth...
The value on this is about $6,000.
Okay.
And this is probably worth in the range of $7,000 to $10,000.
That's wonderful.
This one piece.
Wonderful.
When it comes to porcelain and pottery, the Chinese are one of the leading countries, and this vase is a great example of their craftsmanship. The vase is made of porcelain, and its enamel work, while not the tightest, is well executed. Also, the painted enamel in relief, known as moriagi, adds texture that can be felt with a finger, which indicates its high quality.
Now, there are some signs of both age and a removal from the very best quality of enamel to porcelain.
As seen, this vase features a yellow ground adorned with Indian lotus flowers and auspicious mushroom forms called ruri or lingzi, along with scrolling leaves. The alternating cartouches depict celestial landscapes and typical Chinese themes, including scholars within rockwork and ladies of beauty in gardens.
This mark would indicate that it is a Chinese vase. This is a Qinlong mark. It's a mark that corresponds to an 18th century dynasty.
At auction, this vase that represents the artistry of its maker would sell for...
Now we come to value. In a retail setting, this vase would carry a price tag of $12,000 to $15,000.
Wow. That's more than I thought.
This guest inherited this chair from her grandmother, and it holds deep sentimental value and historical background. This chair is a remarkable example of early American craftsmanship, which represents a school of chair makers that began in the late 1600s. It is characterized by its elongated finial and the distinctive sausage turns in the back between the slats.
This chair is part of a group of seating that we find from Dutch descendant folks who were in New York and New Jersey.
Chairs like this were known as great chairs in old inventories, denoting their significance and the high status of the patriarch who would sit in it. Despite its condition issue, this rare and cherished piece would retail for...
For insurance purposes, a chair like this, I'm being conservative, would be $6,000.
Wow. Wow, okay. Yeah, that's a surprise.
It's not often we see a piece like this exquisite French platinum and diamond pin, which is a cherished family heirloom that dates back to the Art Deco period. The pin features over 200 beautiful rose-cut diamonds that amounts to a little over 2 carats in total.
I like costume jewelry, that's my gig. And I see pieces that are copies of this. Oh. But rarely do I find the authentic piece.
While the exact maker is unknown, its craftsmanship and design clearly mark it as an authentic piece from France. Despite being rarely worn, this piece is still admired for its elegance and beauty. However, due to its intricate design and high-quality diamonds, it's valued at...
Well, on today's market, I would say retail value between $6,000 and $8,000.
That's nice. And so many diamonds, too. Wow. Thank you. That's wonderful.
Thank you.
Found a treasure in the attic. It's a colorful etching by Salvador Dali. Got it in 1980 for just $250. It's part of a series called Song of Songs of Solomon.
Typically, the individual prints were not signed by Dali.
But there's a tiny problem. It has a suspicious signature. The signature actually lowers the value because it seems fake.
That's also a huge red flag when it comes to the world of Dali prints.
Well, here's a crazy idea. Remove the signature to make it more valuable. A conservator can carefully erase it and clean the artwork. Surprise! It might be worth...
At auction, I would estimate this at around $1,000 to $1,500.
Wow. Okay.
In the heart of 18th century French craftsmanship, art reached its zenith. Among its greatest achievements is this showcased violin. The guest purchased this violin while she was in college in 1968.
And my instructor told me that I needed a better violin than the one I had, and we paid $600 for it.
Crafted in Paris in 1861 by Jean-Baptiste Vuillaume, a renowned French luthier, businessman, and inventor.
He started work in Paris about 1820. He died in 1875, and he was a really prolific maker.
This violin stands as a testament to his skill. The violin is adorned with exquisite purfling at the corners and boasts a rich reddish varnish. Additionally, the strings and the tuning pegs are still in remarkable condition. One cannot overstate the desirability of this French violin. At auction, it would retail at...
Value this violin in the retail market today at $25,000.
Oh, wow. That's great. That is great.
Today's treasure hunt find, a mysterious bracelet. Could it be bakelite? Experts say weight and texture are key clues. This one feels interesting. At the auction house, bakelite can be valuable, depending on its rarity.
How much did you pay for this? $10.
Let's see, this one has just one color, no carvings, and no fancy layering. But don't worry, simple can still be stylish and hold value. Now the big question is it really bakelite? Here's a simple test. We just need hot water and a brave nose. Dip the bracelet in, then take a whiff. Bakelite has a unique, not-so-pleasant smell. And sniff, sniff, it smells awful. That's a good sign this is Bakelite. Since it's simple, the value is...
I would value this at $300 to $500. What do you think?
I think I did very well.
The maker of this exquisite piece paid serious attention to detail.
The box has been in my family for as long as I can remember. I see pictures of it even during the time when I was a baby.
This piece is a French porcelain box, which is a beautiful family heirloom, cherished for its elegance and the intriguing story behind it. The box's actual origins are somewhat different, but still fascinating. It dates back to around 1900, indicated by its highly shiny glaze, pristine white porcelain, and the bleeding turquoise glaze along the edge. Additionally, this box features a finely detailed scene on the top and exquisite floral decorations on the inside, showcasing the artistry of early 20th century French porcelain. Despite its Sèvres-like marks, it's confirmed to be a later creation and not from the 18th century.
Now, Sèvres did not use these particular marks in the 20th century, so it's not a Sèvres piece.
Its beauty and craftsmanship make it a lovely addition to any collection and is worth...
If it were Sèvres, and if it were 18th century, which is what the mark would indicate if it were, you're looking at anywhere from about $5,000 upwards. As it is, you're looking at somewhere around $300.
Really? Very interesting.
Here is a trench art musical instrument discovered in an antique shop by this guest. What sets this piece apart is its origin as trench art, a form of creative expression developed by convalescing soldiers during World War I. These soldiers, recovering from their injuries, crafted various objects to pass the time and maintain their mental well-being. Common trench art items include decorated artillery shells, bullets, cigarette lighters, and cases. However, a musical instrument fashioned from brass shells is exceptionally rare. This particular instrument is dated September 20, 1917, and bears the name of the likely maker.
Apparently, he may have been a musical instrument maker before the war because he knew how to fabricate a musical instrument, especially out of brass from military casings.
Given the increasing popularity of trench art among collectors, this instrument is valued at...
I would estimate it $500, maybe $600-700 for it.
The pottery bowl hails from northern New Mexico and is a creation of the renowned potter Tonita Roybal. Tonita, known for her exceptional pottery work, was married to Juan Cruz Roybal, who was a notable Pueblo painter. The collaborative effort between them is evident in this bowl, where Tonita skillfully formed the pottery and Juan adorned it with his intricate paintings. The bowl exemplifies the rich cultural heritage and artistic traditions of the Rio Grande Pueblos. Its craftsmanship and historical significance contribute to its value, and it is worth...
Its value would probably be in the $1,500 range. It's a great pot.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Very nice to know.
Thank you very much.
Imagine carrying the likeness of a loved one in your pocket during the 18th century. The miniature portrait showcased on the show exemplifies this historical practice. The item has been cherished by the guest family for generations, and it depicts her great-great-great-grandfather, Samuel Osgood. Osgood was an American merchant and statesman.
Osgood is the first Postmaster General to George Washington. He's a member of the Continental Congress, and he led a regiment of militiamen at Lexington and Concord.
Moreover, the portrait is painted in watercolor on a thin sliver of ivory. On the back of the item, there's a compartment containing a lock of hair from the guest's ancestor. This portrait has a fascinating provenance and is estimated to be worth...
I would say this would be worth about $10,000 to $15,000.
Really? Famous American football player Gale Sayers was the childhood hero of this man who came to the show with a jersey Gale wore when he played for the Chicago Bears.
That probably got torn off too, but that makes it better. All these tears and rips and blood and sweat. That's what collectors want. That's what everybody wants.
Yeah.
That's the history.
That's the NFL.
That's the NFL. That's it.
That's it.
And it's all here.
What is the price of this piece of NFL history?
made around 1870, is a great example of Italian jewelry, showing off the cool style of 19th century Italy. The guests shared a remarkable tale about their aunt, a Hungarian opera star, and her special boyfriend during the war. While she endured the horrors of concentration camp, her boyfriend managed to evade capture. After the war, they reunited in Italy, where they struggled to find work legally. Despite challenges, they sang illegally, earning money, eventually amassing enough to purchase a piece at a museum auction. The appraiser noted the bracelet's Italian origin in 1870, designed in a special way called archaeological style, which means it looked old-fashioned. You can see the pretty details, like the blue stones cut in a pyramid shape. When you look inside, you can see the name of the maker, Marchesini. Overall, it's a great example of old-fashioned Italian jewelry. With a compelling backstory, the appraiser said,
"What would you say if I told you that it was worth between $8,000 and $10,000?
I would be very happy to know that.
The owner and his father are in the implement business, and they plan to use the arcade tractor and rake toys for the office decor. The guests bought them at an auction for $15. These are high-quality toys made by Arcade, a top manufacturer of cast-iron toys. The tractor and hay rake were manufactured in 1939, just before World War II caused the end of cast-iron toy production. It's rare to find them in original boxes. Their pristine condition with original decals is crucial for value. Despite being a bit dusty, the paint is flawless. Now let's reveal the value of the $15 investment.
So I think between the two of these things at auction in the original box, I would expect them to bring $3,000 to $5,000.
Incredible.
To an average fellow, a bunny is just a toy, but to a child, it's a friend, a confidant, and a source of comfort. The guest got it for his son's first Easter. This piece was made by the Rennell Company, an American toy manufacturer and holding company of retailers.
This is in pretty good condition, but if you turn it around, you'll notice one eye is missing.
Rennell specialized in various products throughout its existence, but toy trains and model railroads were its main claim to fame. This piece is in good condition and still works a little bit.
And you have a little chip here on the basket. Another big factor about this is that they made two different boxes for this.
It serves as a constant companion to share adventures with. Serving as a symbol of love and connection, this piece specially made for Easter makes it highly esteemed and valued significantly at
is about $1,000 to $1,200.
Oh my goodness, for this little toy?
Exactly.
Brought in by the guest is a typical example of the Art Nouveau style that emerged in Europe and America in the late 1880s. Our guest mentions acquiring the bench in 1972 from a nature preserve, adding to their collection of bentwood furniture.
And do you collect other pieces of bentwood?
Yes, we had started collecting bentwood, and this was our first really big piece.
The appraiser notes that the bench epitomizes the Art Nouveau style, characterized by serpentine shapes and lines inspired by nature, such as plant forms, tendrils, and swirling vines. The bentwood process involves steaming beechwood rails and bending them into shape.
The process involved steaming beechwood rails and bending them into shape. It's really a fairly advanced process.
Although the bench resembles the work of the famous Austrian furniture designer Sonnet, it is actually labeled as being made by J.J. Kohler, another Austrian contemporary of Sonnet. This indicates that the piece was part of the trend where many bentwood furniture pieces were shipped to America in the late 19th century. The guest acquired the bench from an antique shop for around $100, which the appraiser considers a good buy. The current market value of the bench is estimated to be around.
And the current market value on this is right in the range of about $1,000 to $1,500.
So
that was a good buy.
That was a good buy.
A collection of traditional Japanese items inherited from a guest's late husband was presented. These pieces were inherited from his father, who brought them back from the South Pacific after World War II. Inro, small ornamental containers, were traditionally used in Japanese gowns which lacked pockets. These containers, hung from belts, were functional at first, but became more decorative over time.
In traditional Japanese garb, there were no pockets, so what people did was hang things from their belt, their sashes that wrapped around their robes.
Inro was decorated with beautiful lacquer work and metal inlay details, although unsigned, which is unusual for its quality. Netsuke, small carved toggles used as anchors for the inro, also exhibited fine craftsmanship. One piece, from the late 18th or early 19th century, had a hidden pull string under a dragon's body and a seal on the bottom. This finely crafted inro and Netsuke group was valued at.
And I'm going to give you conservative auction estimates. Probably this one, $2,000 to $3,000. Oh. And this piece, probably $1,500 to $2,500. He's just wonderful.
A vintage Roseville pottery piece called Roseville Fujiyama was brought to light. These pieces date back to 1906 and belongs to the Roseville ware line, distinguished by hand-painted patterns.
This technique is called squeeze bag decoration, and it was popularized by Frederick Reed, a very famous American potter who worked for many companies, including Roseville.
The technique used for decorations is called squeeze bag decoration, popularized by Frederick Reed. It involves applying colored pigment through a bag onto the pottery surface, akin to decorating a cake. This piece bears the mark of Roseville ware in a raised circle, and notably, it also features the signature of the artist who decorated it using this distinctive method. Originally, the Roseville Fujiyama line was influenced by Japanese artistry from Gazo Fuji, a Japanese artist brought in by Roseville. Due to this piece's unique and artistically distinct decoration, its value is estimated at.
Normally, with a regular decoration, this pot's in perfect condition, the piece would be worth about $2,000 to $2,500. Oh. With this decoration, I say about $3,000 to $4,000.
Oh! So. Beautifully intricate and vintage lamp with a chipped ice surface and reverse painted design, known as Jungle Birds, features colorful parrots painted on the inside of its shade. This distinctive piece was crafted by the Handel Company, based in Meriden, Connecticut. Founded in 1885, Handel's company is known for decorative lamps. This lamp dates to around 1910. This lamp came into the guest's possession after being passed down from a great-aunt. Crafted through a unique sandblasting and baking process involving fish glue, the shade of the lamp holds 95% of its value. Despite the base being made of white metal rather than bronze, the lamp is highly valuable.
It actually has a name. It's called Jungle Birds, and you can notice the birds right on the front, these beautiful parrots, and we can turn this together.
In today's market, this rare and desirable piece would sell for between.
This particular lamp in today's market would sell for between $15,000 and $20,000.
Episode features a garden ornament that the guest purchased at a house sale for just $1.
These were garden ornaments. They're sort of akin to the concrete geese that you see today, and probably not terribly expensive at the time, maybe $10 to $15.
This piece is an example of Weller garden pottery, crafted between 1920 and 1930 in Zanesville, Ohio. Despite being in someone's yard, the figure retains a vibrant coloration and is in remarkably good shape. Although it is a broken foot that has been reglued, this does not affect its value.
Of the Weller ornaments that I've seen over the years, he's one of the most unusual.
This charming and colorful garden ornament, a rare piece of Weller pottery, is worth
$7,000 and $10,000.
Wow. Really?
So that's not bad for a dollar investment.
Wow.
Is an arrow quiver that is a modern replica, not an authentic Native American piece. The material used for the strings looked like animal sinew, but was actually high-tech nylon, a common material in these reproductions. Secondly, the animal hide was commercially tanned, unlike the traditional brain tanning methods used by Native Americans. Another red flag was the metal cones with an artificial patina, making them look older than the rest of the quiver. Real quivers were also much longer, reaching 2.5 to 3 feet, to fully protect the precious arrows. This replica's shortness and narrow strap wouldn't have been practical for carrying arrows over long distances. Despite not being authentic, the quiver's value as a decorative item, especially with its beautiful case, is worth.
It's worth a minimum of several $100s, probably $350 up.
Okay.
Family heirloom with a rich history made its way to today's show.
Outside of the bracelet was my great-great-grandfather's hair, and inside was my great-great-grandmother's hair.
This is a collection of woven hair jewelry from Georgia.
That we see there, and the brooch. But I'd like to focus on the bracelet first because it's really very interesting.
It features a pair of earrings, a brooch and a bracelet dating back to 1850. The bracelet is beautifully woven and includes an engraved locket. Inside the locket is the guest's great-great-grandmother's hair, which is of 2 colors.
Which is very, very sweet because it's a love knot, and in the center of the love knot are clutched hands, which is a token of love.
Although there is a bit of damage on the woven hair bracelet, it doesn't affect its value. The brooch features a love knot, and in the center are clasped hands, a token of love. This American woven hair jewelry collection, featuring a beautiful engraved locket on the bracelet and lovely earrings and a brooch, would be worth.
And I would venture that the value of this, which is, of course, sentimental, but the monetary value of this is about $900.